Hello viewers, welcome to UVol, the channel for database and data professionals. In this tutorial, we are going to do a simple project in the field of data analytics using Kaggle, Python, Oracle database, and Microsoft Power BI. So viewers, you may be planning to enter or already in the field of data engineering, analytics, database development, or administration. This simple project on data analytics has a touch of everything. If you know about data analytics, you might think, why do we need all these to go through? In fact, you can actually do a data analytics project with even the raw data in a CSV format and using Python in a simple online editor like Jupyter Notebook. But for that, you really need to be an expert in Python coding and familiar with its functions, features, and libraries, etc. But the different areas I am covering in this project have been selected considering the viewer as new to the field, and I promise this is going to be interesting and a good start for the beginners in this space, which will help you understand each of these areas if you want to expand your knowledge base or want to pursue any one of the areas and become an expert. First, let's understand what are the individual components, tools, or software that we are going to use in this project and how we are going to use them. First of all, Kaggle. So what is Kaggle? Kaggle is an online platform for data scientists and machine learning practitioners offering data science competitions, datasets, and web-based environment for building and sharing models. We will download the sample data for our project from kaggle.com. Then Python. Python is a versatile, high-level interpreted programming language which is easy to learn and use, often used in the web development, data science, and automations. Along with Python, we are going to use VS Code or Visual Studio Code, which is a free open-source cross-platform code editor from Microsoft used for writing, debugging, and editing code, which we will use to write our Python code for the project. Next, the Oracle database, which is world's one of the most popular and robust RDBMS system or relational database management system, known for its reliability, scalability, and extensive features, making it a top choice for businesses with large databases. If you know Oracle database, that will distinguish you with an extra feather in your hat in the job market. In this project, we will load the data that we download from Kaggle to our Oracle database. Along with Oracle database, we are also going to use a GUI or graphical user interface tool called SQL Developer from Oracle. Although not compulsory, this tool is free yet very useful and make your life easier when you work with Oracle database. Then another piece of software that we will need is called OCMT. That stands for Oracle Client for Microsoft Tools. This software is required for Microsoft Power BI or other Microsoft tools to work with Oracle database. Then finally, Power BI. The Microsoft Power BI is a suite of business analytics tools and services that allows users to connect to various data sources like Oracle database, SQL Server database, or an Excel spreadsheet, or even a CSV file, transform and visualize data, and share insights through interactive dashboards and reports. We will use Power BI for our data analytics with the data that we loaded to our Oracle database. I will keep everything simple, and also you don't have to be an expert in all of these areas. In fact, you can decide and focus more on the specific area of your interest. If you like programming or data engineering activities, then your area of focus is Python language. If you are more interested in database development or administration, then focus more when we work with the Oracle database. And if you are interested in the data analytics activities, then your area of focus is the Microsoft Power BI. Now, this tutorial covering the whole project would have been a long one, so I decided to divide it into 3 parts so the viewers don't get overwhelmed with the concepts and rather understand each of the areas comfortably. So in the first part, we will set up our environment by downloading and installing the required software or tools that I just explained in the previous slide, and we will verify configuration and database connectivity, etc. In the second part, we will actually download dataset from kaggle.com, do our ETL processes, that is extract, transform, and load the data using Python into Oracle database, and perform our data analytics activities using Power BI. In the third part, we will follow a process called ELT, that is extract the dirty data then load it to Oracle database, and then transform or clean up the data using Oracle database capabilities to perform our data analytics activities using Power BI. Now, without further delay, let's start. I am using my Windows 10 PC for this project, but it will work even if you have a Mac or a Linux computer. First, we will go to Kaggle.com to create a free account in Kaggle. Kaggle.com. Here you will get two options, sign in and register. If you do not have an account already, you have to press this register button. And here, again, we have two options, register with Google and register with email. And you can choose whatever option you like. So I'm going to click in this register with email button for demonstration, where you need to supply your email and a password of your choice, then your full name. And then once you check this box, I am not a robot, it's going to ask you a few simple questions based on a few pictures, where you need to locate certain objects like a motorcycle or a bus or something. And then you need to click next, which will send you a verification email in the email ID you specified. And once you verify your email, your account will be active and you will be able to log in. It is that simple. Now I'll go back to the initial screen and then click on the sign in button. I will log into my account using the email ID that I specified while creating this account, and I will log in. Once you log in, the interface will look something like this. And as I mentioned before, it will give you a lot of options to join in competitions related to data science or download data sets or share even your own data sets. If you want to download any data sets, first you click on this data sets. And then in the search box, you can type in anything for which you need a data set. For example, say sales data. You just put sales and press enter, and you'll be able to see a lot of available data sets there, which you can download for free. Similarly, say if you want to download some HR related data, put HR, and you'll be able to see a lot of data sets which were uploaded by different contributors, and you can download them for your project. In this project, we are going to download a data set that I have created specifically for this, and the name of the data set is employee salary data. But if you type and search in just employee salary data, it will give you a lot of options. But I want you to download the data set that I have uploaded here only for this particular project. So you have to add here the name of my channel or account, that is Evolved Data at the end. And as you can see, it is automatically coming here. And if you click on that, it will take you to the data set. And if you scroll down, you'll be able to see a sample view of the data. And to download this, you have this download button above. And if you press this button, it will download all the data sets which are available under this name, employee salary data. But if you want to download only this particular data set, you just need to click on this download link here. And once you click on that, the download will start. And as you can see, a file named emp_salary_data.csv, a CSV or comma separated value file, has been downloaded. But this is not what we are going to do, because we are actually going to download the data or the data set using Python code. I just showed you this method just to learn how to search for different data sets, how to download. Our main purpose was to create a free account with Kaggle.com. And once your account has been successfully activated or open, we will go to the next step of installing Python. To install Python, first let's open another tab and go to Google and search for download Python. And then we'll follow this first link that is from python.org and open it in a new tab. And as you can see, it is automatically giving me the download option for Windows because I'm using a Windows PC here. So I'll press this download Python 3.13.2 button here, and it has been already downloaded. Now click on the downloaded executable file. Let's minimize the browser. And this warning is just informational because we are installing something which is not from the Microsoft Store. We'll press this install anyway button. We will first check this box, use admin privilege when installing py.exe. Also add python.exe to path, these two options here, and then we will select the customize installation option. We will leave all these default options here as checked in and then press the next button. And in this screen also, we'll just leave all the default options which were selected. And here, because I have a limited space in my C drive, I'm going to install this in my E drive. In your case, you just select the location accordingly. This does not take a lot of space. A few hundred MBs is enough. So I will press the install button here. And for this warning, I will simply press the yes button. This installation is going to take only a few seconds, maybe a minute. So we have successfully installed the Python version 3.13.2. Based on when you are downloading, your version may be different. Now at the end, disable path length limit. This is also important because Python is going to use certain libraries and files which will be longer in length, permissible in Windows path variable. So we need to disable that limit. So it is important to select this option. So I'll press this button and then press the yes button here and then close. So Python has been successfully installed. Now to check if Python has been successfully installed and all the environment settings have been successfully done, there are a couple of options. We will start this command prompt here and then we will simply type in Python here. And as you can see, Python version 3.13.2 is shown there. And there's a prompt it is giving. We are simply going to exit from the Python prompt and also from the command prompt. Next, we are going to install VS Code that I mentioned before, which is the editor for Python code. To do that, first we'll bring our browser up again and we'll search for download VS Code and press enter. And as we can see, the first link, download Visual Studio Code for Mac, Linux or Windows. We will open this in a new tab and then we will download the Windows installer. Depending on your operating system, you have to select one of these. So I will press this button and the download has begun and the download has also completed. And we are going to execute this file, VS Code user setup x64. Click on that. Let's minimize the browser. And then select the I accept the agreement button. Click next. Again, I'm going to select my E drive because I'm running out of space in the C drive of my computer. And as you can see, it is going to take around 400 plus MBs. So based on your space availability, you can select a location or drive in your computer. So click on the next button. We are okay with this folder name. Then click on the next button again. Let these all default options be selected and then click on the next button. Then press the install button. So this installation is going to take less than a minute. And it is complete. With the launch Visual Studio Code checkbox is on, we will press the finish button. And this is the console of Visual Studio Code. And before we can start using Visual Studio Code for our Python coding, we have to install a couple of extensions, which are Python extensions. And to do that, first we will click on this 4 square icon in the extreme left sidebar. And then it will automatically give us a list of extensions which are available for us to install. And we are going to select this first one, that is Python from Microsoft. And then in the right hand pane, we will just click on the install button here. And you can see the progress there in this progress bar. Currently it is installing. And a couple of more Python related extensions are available. Let's see the status if they have been already installed, because some are already installed when we select the Python extension from Microsoft. And as you can see, Python debugger is also installed because we have only the uninstall option available. Then we need one more extension which is called PyLens. So type in py lens here, and this is the one. Select it, and then again in the right hand side we can see we have the uninstall option available, means it is already installed. So with the Python extension from Microsoft, both the Python debugger and PyLens extensions are automatically installed. Next, we have to upgrade the PIP. So what is PIP? PIP is the package installer for Python, which is automatically installed. We just need to make sure that it has the latest version. To upgrade PIP, first we will click on this terminal menu here and select the new terminal here. And this is the terminal window that is open below. And here we will type in python -m pip install -- upgrade PIP. Press enter. And this upgrade of PIP will take just a few seconds. And as you can see, currently it is uninstalling the older version of PIP, that is 24.3.1, and it has successfully installed PIP version 25.0.1. Next, for our Python program, encoding, etc., we are going to create a folder as our project folder. To do that, click on this Explorer button at the top left sidebar, and then open folder. And we are going to create one folder under our documents folder with the name, say, projects. And under that, we will create another folder name Python. You can give any name. I am putting the Python name because it's going to be a Python project. And then select the folder. And for this particular warning, do you trust the authors of the files in this folder? Select this checkbox, and then yes, I trust the authors. Now under our Python project folder, we are going to create our first Python program to make sure that everything is working. So click on this new file icon here, and let's create our first hello world program here. So I'll give the name as hello world.py. That is the extension for Python programs or scripts. Press enter, and in the first line we'll simply put print within bracket, we'll start a double quote and put hello world. Close the double quotes, and the closing bracket is automatically coming because this is VS Code, and it is going to help you writing your code with minimal effort. We'll just press enter, and then we are going to save it using Ctrl S, or you can also select this save option under the file menu, and then we are going to run it. To run the program, when this file is selected, you simply go to the extreme right corner and you see this play button here, and then run Python file, this option, or run Python file in a dedicated terminal. Then one terminal will be created below where you'll be able to see the output. So I'm going to select this second option here, and as you can see, a terminal is selected and the program or the code has been executed, and we see the output hello world. And congratulations, it's that simple. You wrote your first Python program. Next, we have to make a few enhancements to our VS Code environment. First, to create a virtual environment to isolate Python packages from others, because VS Code can be used for many other programming languages like JavaScript, C++, etc. And we want the Python coding or packages to be isolated from the remaining ones. To do that, at the top search box, click on that and simply put the greater than symbol, and that will give you a couple of options below. From there, you need to select the create environment option. If it is not automatically visible, you can simply type in create, and as you can see, it's coming as create environment below. So we are going to select this Python create environment, and then again there are a couple of options. venv creates a .venv virtual environment in the current workspace. So we are going to select this first option, and then automatically it is selecting the Python interpreter that we just installed, that is the Python version 3.13.2. which is 64-bit. So we are going to select this, and below we can see the progress creating environment for Python. Again, it is going to take a couple of seconds while creating our virtual environment for Python coding, and the environment creation has been successfully completed. Now in this terminal window, in fact, you can type in normal Python commands, like again, if you want to see the Python version, you can simply put python --version, and you can see it is 3.13.2, or even if you simply put Python, it will give you all the details about the Python installation here, along with a prompt to execute other Python commands. And it is nothing but the Python interpreter prompt. For example, if you do 1 + 2 here, it should give us the result as 3. But we are not going to use that extensively. And to exit this, simply type in exit, and it is out of the Python prompt. Next, we will have to install a few additional tools to be used in our VS Code environment, and that will enable us to write our Python code to work with Oracle database. And these tools are called Visual C++ build tools. And to install them, first we will bring up our browser, open a new tab, and there we will type in this website, that is visualstudio.microsoft.com/visual-cpp-build-tools. And once you are in that website, press this download build tools, this button, which is going to start the download. And as you can see, the VS build tools have been downloaded. I have initiated one download before, that's why there are 2 files. So we are going to select this first one, that is VS build tools.exe. Let's minimize the browser. Press the yes button to proceed. Press the continue button. Please note that our actual Visual C++ build tools have not been installed yet, and this installer has been downloaded currently and also installed. Now we have to select individual components here. We don't need everything for our purpose, so we are going to select this first option, desktop development with C++. So click on this checkbox here, and then it will give us all the default options which were selected in the right hand side pane. Make sure that you keep all these options selected. And here in the location, it is by default selecting my C drive. As I mentioned, I am running out of space in my C drive, so I'm going to change it to my E drive. And then click on the install button. This installation is going to take a few minutes. As we have seen in the previous screen, the size is around 7 gigs. So I will pause the video and I will resume once the installation is completed, or there is anything worth to be mentioned in between. Okay, after around 5 minutes, the Visual C++ build tools installation have been completed. Now let's close the installer. Then let's go to the VS Code terminal window, and from there we will install 2 more packages which are required to work with Kaggle, who is our dataset provider, and the datasets. First, we will install a package called Kaggle that will help us download the dataset from Kaggle. So we will install the package using pip or pip command, pip install Kaggle. Press enter. This is a small package and the installation takes just a few seconds. And as we can see, the Kaggle package installation is completed. And the next package we need to install is the pandas package, which is required to work with the datasets. So we will use the command pip install pandas. Press enter. It is a relatively larger package and takes like a minute or so to install. And as we can see, the pandas package has also been installed. So with this, the VS Code configuration is completed for now. We will need a few more packages, but we will install them when we will actually write our Python code and do our ETL activities, that is the extract, transform, and load activities with the dataset. But to load our data to an Oracle database, we need the Oracle database to be created first. So the next thing we are going to do is to download and install the free Oracle Express Edition database software, or Oracle XE. Let's go back to our browser window first. Then we'll search for Oracle XE, download. And in this first link from oracle.com, we'll open it in a separate tab. And in this list, we see Oracle Database XE downloads, Oracle Database 21C Express Edition. This 21C is the latest version when this video is created, and that C stands for cloud. And we are going to download this particular one, that is Oracle Database 21C Express Edition for Windows 64. Currently, it is supported on only Windows and Linux platforms and does not support Mac. But if you have a Mac, then you will have two workarounds. Number one, you can install Oracle VirtualBox software on your Mac and create a free Windows VM and then install Oracle XE on that VM. The second option is to create a free Oracle Autonomous Database in Oracle Cloud and use it for your project. I have given my video links for both these options in the description of this video below. Now we will click on this first link to download the Oracle XE, which just started, and the size is around 1.8 gigs, which is going to take a minute or so. And once it is downloaded, we will go to the download folder, and there we will extract it to a folder with the same name. So I'll just select extract all and then press the extract button. And the installer has been 100% extracted to this folder, and it is also open. If it is not open in your case, you just double click and open this folder and then run this setup program for Oracle XE. So I'll just right click on that file and run it as an administrator. Let's minimize all the other windows. For this warning, again, we will press this install anyway button. This is a Microsoft warning because Oracle is not a software from the Microsoft store. So it is giving this warning. So I'll press the install anyway button. Press yes to proceed. In the first screen, press the next button. Then select the I accept the terms in the license agreement, this option here, and then click next. Then you have to select a destination where the database software will be installed along with a starter database which will be created. So for this, you need at least 10 gigs free space in that location. I'm going to select my E drive because I don't have that much space in the C drive. So I'm going to click on the change button to change the location to E drive. All the remaining subfolders will be created accordingly. You don't have to worry about this, and just press the OK button. And then click next. In this screen, it will ask for an administrator password. So normally you use a complex password for a database, but this is our test database and that will be used only for the project. So I'm going to provide a simple password which we can remember, such as Oracle, and also I'll confirm as Oracle, all in small case, and then click next. And this is a confirmation about the destination folders for different components of the Oracle database, and then we will press the install button. So this installation takes several minutes, maybe around 30 minutes, because it is going to create the Oracle software home directory, and after that it is going to create a database for us. So this entire activity takes a lot of time. I will pause the video and I will resume when the installation is complete, or there is anything worth to be mentioned in between. Around 40% completed, as we can see it in the screen behind. Okay, after around 1 hour, now we can see that the Oracle database installation has been successfully completed. Along with that, it has also given the details about 2 databases that it has created for us. The first one, called a container database or CDB, is kind of a parent database. And the second one, called a pluggable database or PDB, that resides within the container database. The CDB is accessible in the local host, that is this computer, in the port 1521 with its default name exe if not mentioned specifically. And the PDB is also accessible in this local host in the port 1521 and with the name xepdb1. I will explain about these 2 databases shortly in simple words. For now, just remember the ports and their names. And this EM Express URL, we are not going to use it in this project, so we are going to ignore it. And then we'll click Finish to complete the installation. In the meantime, the Windows background wallpaper has changed. Once installed, the Oracle exe database will start automatically and also with every restart of your computer. You can manually stop and start the database when required to reduce the load on the system. Normally, these are all DBA activities, but you will need a few very basic ones to administer your local database, and also these will be useful if you want to pursue a database administrator career in the future. For now, just learn them for verification purpose. Now, let's see these activities in action. First, we will start the Windows Service Console. And there, we'll go to the section listing the Oracle services. And in this section, we see a couple of different Oracle related services are running or listed. Out of these, only 2 are of our interest. The first one, Oracle OraDB21 Home 3 TNS Listener. TNS Listener is the service which is responsible for listening to incoming Oracle database connection requests and establishing the connection. If the listener is down or the listener service is not running, the normal users cannot connect to the database from a remote computer. Now, the second one of our interest is the Oracle Service exe. This is the main database service. If this service is down, you cannot connect, start or stop the database. You see these are running and also the startup type is automatic. It means these services will be started automatically when your system is restarted. You can change it by going to the properties and then by changing the startup type to manual or even disable. Let's minimize this window. Now let's see how to connect, start and stop the database in command prompt. So we'll bring up one command window, and here we have to set one environment variable called Oracle SID. So we'll use the command set Oracle SID equals to, and then the name of the database, that is XE, that we set for our container database or the CDB. Press enter, and then we have to use the command SQL+ / as sysdba. So this SQL+ is a client utility for the users to connect to the Oracle database, and this / is actually replacing a username and password combination. When you connect to a Windows server as the administrator, then Oracle database automatically authorizes you as the administrator of the database also, and in that case you don't have to supply a username and password to connect to the Oracle database. All you need to do is to provide this / and Oracle will automatically authenticate you as the administrator of the database. And then this as sysdba specifies with what privilege you are connecting to the database. So sysdba is the highest level of privilege that is given in an Oracle database. You can do anything on that database, you have no restriction, and even you can delete that database. Now this SQL+ / as sysdba, when you use this command to connect to the database, it is called operating system authentication to connect to the database. And once we press enter, you'll be able to see that we have successfully connected to the database. Now here, you can use the command to find out what is the name of the database that we have connected using select name from $database, and you see that the name of the database is XE that we set in the Oracle SID environment variable also. This Oracle SID is nothing but the Oracle system identifier for the database, and this is unique for every database which are running in a particular server or host. Now another simple command that you can use to see the server or database server date is the select sysdate from dual. This dual is called a dummy table, and we'll learn about that later on. But you can say that we are referencing the server here using this command, and we can see that 22nd March 25 is the server date. And similar way, you can also find out what is the system time using sys timestamp option here. So select sys timestamp from dual, and you see the date and time from the server, which is also listing here the time zone, which is -4 hours from GMT. So these are all called SQL commands, and don't worry about this yet. You will learn this all as you go and based on your focus area. For now, just do it as I mentioned for verification purpose. Now to stop the database, you can use the command shutdown immediate, press enter, and the database is shut down. And to start up the database, you can use the command startup open. This semicolon at the end is optional. When you're starting up or shutting down the database, you don't have to provide a semicolon there, and the database has been started. Now exit from the database command prompt or SQL prompt, and now we will check the status of the listener, the service that is responsible for accepting connections and establishing connections. To check the status of the listener, we use the command lsnrctl status listener. Usually you put the name of the listener here, and as we have seen, the name of the listener is also listener in the services console, so we are using it here. So lsnrctl stands for listener control. This is an utility to administer or manage your listener service. So press enter, and you see the details about the listener service, when it was started, what is the uptime, etc. here. So currently it is running, and you see a couple of services there which are registered with this listener. And out of these, we don't have to worry about all of them, just the main one, that is the service XE instance XE status ready. So this is the main service to connect to our container database. If this service is down, you will not be able to connect to the database using the TNS listener. But you will still be able to connect using operating system authentication, as I showed before. Only connections from other remote computers you will not be able to establish. Now another service running is XEPDB1, which is also ready. So this service is responsible for connections coming towards the pluggable database. Now here I have used the command listener control status listener to see the status. Similar way, you can also use the command lsnrctl stop listener to stop the listener. Here, instead of stopping the listener, it gives me the error message saying the user is not authorized to execute the requested listener command. It's because I did not start this command prompt or command window using as an administrator. So let's close this and start it as an administrator. Right click and run as administrator. And then we will execute again the command lsnrctl. First, let's see the status listener, and we see the listener status, and then we will stop it using the command lsnrctl stop listener, and you see this time the command completed successfully, means the listener is down. If you check the status again, you'll be able to see that the services are no more listed under the status of the listener. And as you can see, these are all error messages. There is no services listed. Now to start the listener again, we'll use the command lsnrctl start listener. And you see the listener has been started. Let's check the status again. And all the services are listed again. You'll see, apart from a service with the name exe, that is the service for the main database or the container database, there are a couple of more other services also. For example, this service xexdb is for an XML database. The CLR extproc is for external procedure execution. This xepdb1 is for the pluggable database service, etc. We are going to primarily use this exe and xepdb for our project. Now, we were able to connect to our container database using the operating system authentication and as sysdba. But the container database is not the one where usually the user or application data is stored. In Oracle, the user or application data is actually stored in the pluggable database or PDBs. Now let's see how to connect to the PDB. One way to connect is to first connect to the CDB and then altering the session to connect to the PDB within it. So let's connect to our CDB as sysdba first. Oops, I did a mistake because I did not set the environment variable for the database that is called the Oracle SID. So we'll use the command set Oracle SID equals to exe and then SQL plus /s sysdba, and you see I'm connected to the CDB currently. Now to connect to the PDB named xepdb1, we will use the command alter session set container equals to xepdb1, and session altered means now you are connected to the pluggable database named xepdb1. But this is not how we are going to connect to our pluggable database, which will store our data for our project. We are going to use Power BI or other applications to connect to our pluggable database named xepdb to access the data. So we need a different method because we cannot use this command prompt to connect to our pluggable database. To set up that option for connecting to our pluggable database from different applications, we will first exit from the command window, and then we'll see the status of the listener again, and from there we'll find out one configuration file named tnsnames.ora. So I'll use the command again, lsnrctl status listener, and from there you can see that the listener parameter file, and all we need to do is to take this path where the file name listener.ora is present. So I'll copy this path and go to our Windows Explorer, go to this location. You see a couple of configuration files are there, listener SQLnet and a backup file and tnsnames.ora. This file is of our importance, so let's open this file in a text editor like Notepad, and you see there is an entry called xe. So this entry is called TNS entry to connect to our container database. So we'll make a copy of this entry and make a small change so that the entry will be applicable for connecting to our pluggable database. So everything will remain the same, that is the protocol, host, and the port. If you remember, during the end of Oracle Express Edition database software installation, the installer was giving the connection information about the CDB and the PDB, where it mentioned the hostname as localhost. If you are in the same computer where the database is hosted, then in this TNS entry, you can use either localhost or the IP address of the host in the host field, or actual fully qualified DNS name of the host computer, which is in my case win10ee.manoj.home here, and the port 1521. But in this service name, we'll change the service name to the pluggable database that we have seen in the listener status. As we have seen that the service name for the pluggable database is xepdb1. We will copy this name, and instead of xe, we will paste that name, that is xepdb1. And also this alias or the name of the entry will be changed to xepdb1. And then we will save this file. Then close this window. Now again from the command prompt, first we will validate if this entry is working using the command tns ping. It doesn't matter if you are using caps or lowercase because this is Windows. So tns ping and the name of the tns alias that we put there as xepdb1. Let's see if it gives a value. Yeah, it gives that it is okay with 20 milliseconds, that it was able to ping that entry. Please note that this tns ping command actually tests whether you can reach out to the listener service running on the database server at the port used. It does not actually connect to the database. So if your tns ping command does not return an OK, it can mean many things. For example, your listener service may be down, the hostname you used in the tns entry is incorrect, or the host itself is down, the port you have specified is incorrect, or the database service name is incorrect, etc. Now before we can use this tns entry xepdb1 to connect to the Oracle database from any client application like Power BI, let's test it from this command prompt itself, because earlier we used to connect to the database from command prompt using operating system authentication. This time we will use the TNS authentication. So we'll do SQL plus system, that is the username, then Oracle is the password that we set for the system user. If you remember, during installation of Oracle Express Edition software, we set this password Oracle all in lowercase, and then at the rate we have to specify this TNS alias here. Press enter and we are connected, and this time we are directly connecting to the pluggable database. And we have to remember this, how to connect to the pluggable database directly from any client application to work with our user or client data. I know these are a lot of information for a beginner, but trust me, this will be helpful in case you want to pursue an IT career where you need to work with Oracle database. And also congratulations, you have done a few very basic yet most common database administrator activities in your database. Now all these commands we have executed using the command window, but we have a graphical user interface or GUI software or tool called SQL Developer to work with Oracle database. So next we will download and install SQL Developer. This is not compulsory, but this is going to make your life easier when you work with Oracle database. So minimize all these windows. We will bring up our browser and then search for SQL Developer download. And we'll open this first link in a separate tab. And there you can see the SQL Developer version available is 24.3.1, which is the latest when this video is published. And we have a couple of options for the platform, that is SQL Developer extensions for VS Code, Windows 64-bit with JDK 7 included, Windows 32-bit, and this is also supported on Mac and Linux, etc. Based on your platform, you download the one which is applicable. And for this project, because I am using a Windows computer, I am going to use this one, Windows 64-bit with JDK 17 included, and I will click on the link download. As you can see, it is 555 MB, which is going to take a minute or so to download. And the SQL Developer software has been downloaded. Let's open the download folder. And the installation of SQL Developer is quite easy. All you need to do is to extract this compressed file and copy it into a location from where you want to run it. There is no separate installation required. So I'll just right click and select the extract all option, and I'll extract to a folder with the same name within the download folders first. Now we can see that the SQL Developer software has been fully extracted. Let's copy this folder and I want to take it to my E drive. So I just cut that folder and paste it here. Then open this folder, and from the subfolder SQL Developer, I'm going to create a shortcut for this application called SQL Developer into my desktop. So right click and send to desktop, create shortcut. Next, close this, and also I'm going to delete the original compressed file to save some space. And now we will see if we are able to connect to our database from this SQL Developer application. Run the SQL Developer application using the shortcut. And this message from Microsoft Windows saying that it is not a Microsoft verified application. We will just press the install anyway button because it is not from the Microsoft stores. And also it is going to enable a couple of extensions when the first time we will run it. And this is the SQL Developer interface. And from here, we will create a connection for our pluggable database named XEPDB1. So we'll simply click on this plus icon here. And we need to provide a name for the connection. You can put anything there. I'll just put the name of the database here, that is XEPDB1, and dash, we are going to use the system user. Then database type, Oracle selected by default. Then under user info tab, we have to specify a couple of more things. Don't worry about this proxy user now. And the authentication type will be default. The username to system here. This is for the first time and verification purpose. When we actually use the database for our project, we are not going to use the system user. Then the password, as we have specified the password as Oracle. The role will be default. You can save the password if you want. Going forward, if you don't want to supply the password every time you connect, you can save the password for future use. Then connection type will be basic. Host name, you can specify local host here. If you want, you can also put the IP address here of this server or the fully qualified domain name of the computer. So I'm using local host here, the port 1521, and the SID, if you see XE. If we provide here XE, then it is going to connect to our container database. But we don't want to connect to the container database, and instead we want to connect to our pluggable database. So we'll use the option service name. And if you remember, service for the pluggable database was with a name XEPDB1. It doesn't matter if you specify it in caps or lowercase. Now first we will test the connection using this test button. And you see the status is success. It means it is able to connect. Now we will save this connection for future use. You see immediately one entry is made there as XEPDB1-system, and then we will press the connect button. It takes a few seconds to make the connection and then give you a window to execute SQL commands as an editor. And as you can see, this is the editor window that it has given to us. And here you can do all the SQL commands that we tested before here, and it will display the output in a grid. For example, select name from $, database. If you execute it here, select the line and press this play button here, you'll see the output in a grid. In fact, there are other information also you can extract from this $, database, which is actually a view. You may think, what is a view? In simple words, a view is a window to one or more tables, and a table is the object in an Oracle database who stores the actual data. We are going to create tables to store data very soon. Please note that the name field from this $, database view will always return the name of the CDB, indifferent of whether you are connected to the CDB or PDB. But if you want to know the name of the PDB, then you have to use another view named $PDBs. I am giving a few examples of such SQL commands in the description of this video for you to practice. Also, please note that SQL commands or keywords are not case sensitive. And if you want, you can see the other information also. So instead of name, if we put a star there, it will display everything that is available in the $, database view. And if you execute it again, you'll see a lot of different information is coming, like database ID, name, when it was created, and other details. Now we are going to use this SQL developer as a client tool when we are going to test our SQL commands before we can use them in our Power BI application, or any SQL command or development of PL SQL procedures, etc. If you want to do, you can use this SQL developer. In fact, this free tool has a lot of features which are great. You can use it as a DBA, as a developer, or as a database designer, etc. This is an awesome tool. Now let's close this connection. And to close the connection, all you need to do is to right click on the connection and then select the disconnect option, and the connection is closed. Now let's minimize the SQL developer application. Now before we can install the last piece of software for our project, that is Microsoft Power BI, we need one more software called OCMT, that is Oracle Client for Microsoft Tools. This software is required by any Microsoft tools to connect to an Oracle database. So first we'll bring up our browser again and search for OCMT download, and we'll open this first link, Oracle Client for Microsoft Tools, in a new tab, and from the list of download we will select this one, 64-bit Oracle Client for Microsoft Tools 19C. So click on that and the download has started. It's a small software, it doesn't take much time, and as we can see the download is complete. Now let's go to the download folder and we will execute it as a administrator. So right click and select run as administrator, minimize all other windows, and as usual the Microsoft warning, will click on install anyway button, press yes for change permission, click OK for the language as English United States, click next again, and I will select the custom options and then click next. Let all the default components be selected, click next, and then I will change the destination folder to my E drive. Simply change the C to E and OK, then click next. Similarly, the configuration file directory location will be also from E drive, so select E, then click the next button, then install. This is going to be a quick installation, hardly a few seconds, and the installation is complete. Press the finish button and OCMT installation is complete. This software doesn't have an interface as such. It is just going to be used by the Microsoft tools internally. Now we are ready to install our final piece of software, that is the Microsoft Power BI. So we'll go to the browser again and we will search for download Microsoft Power BI, and we will right click and open this link in a different tab, download Microsoft Power BI desktop from official website of Microsoft, open in a new tab, and from there we will simply click on the download button here for Microsoft Power BI desktop, and here choose the download you want. We are going to select the 64-bit edition. This is PBI desktop setup _ x64exe. Click on the download button and the download has started. It's around 538 MB in size, and as we can see the download is complete. Let's open the download folder and we are going to execute this PBI desktop setup program as an administrator. Press the yes button to confirm. Let's minimize all other windows. Select the language as English. Click the next button. Then click on the next button. Check the I accept the terms of the license agreement checkbox. Click next. Again, I am going to use my E drive for the installation folder. Click next. Create a desktop shortcut. I'm keeping this on, and then press the install button. This is going to be a quick installation, hardly a minute. Okay, so the Power BI installation is complete and the launch Microsoft Power BI desktop checkbox is on, and we will click the finish button and the Power BI application should be up automatically for the first time. So this is the interface of the Microsoft Power BI application when you run it for the first time. Let's close these information boxes, and then we will select this blank report option to go to the report designing screen of Power BI. So click on that and it will take us to the screen which we will be mostly using for Power BI. So close these other splash screens, and then first we are going to test our connectivity to the Oracle database from Microsoft Power BI. To do that, we will click on this button, Get Data, and from there select the More option. And in this Get Data selection box, from the left side list, we are going to select the database option, and from the right hand side list, we are going to select the Oracle database option, and then press the Connect button. Then in this window, in the server box, we are going to put the server as localhost, that is this computer, because our Oracle database is also running in this computer. Then colon the port, that is 1521, slash the service name or the name of the database, that is our pluggable database. So the name is XEPDB1. Then we are going to select one of the options here, import or direct query. For now, I am going to use the direct query option, which will enable us to write a query which will be directly accessing the data from the underlying database and give us a preview. Then under advanced options, we are going to select the very basic query that we tested before, something like select sysdate from dual, and let this include relationship columns and navigate using full hierarchy. These two checkboxes checked on, and then click on the OK button. So it is going to ask for the credential to connect to the database in the next screen, and in this screen we are going to select the database option, not the Windows. And in the username, we will put our username as system and the password as Oracle, if you remember, and then connect. Please remember, this is just for verification or testing purpose. Going forward, we are not going to use the system user account to connect to our database from Power BI. We are going to use some other user that we are going to create. Press the connect button and we'll see if Power BI is able to connect. If it is able to connect, then it is going to give us the result. And yes, we can see that it is able to connect to the XCPDB database, which is running on the local host and at the port 1521. And below that, we can see that the SQL query output is also there. That is the system date from the server. And this also has the time part. Now you can say that the Power BI application is successfully connected to our Oracle database, and our test is successful. With this, we have completed the setup and configuration of our entire environment for the project with Kaggle, Python, Oracle database, and Power BI. Let's cancel this window. With this, I am concluding the part 1 of this topic. So here is a recap of what we have done in part 1. We created our free Kaggle account. Then we installed Python version 3.13.2. We also installed VS Code for Python code editing. We installed a few additional Python packages. Then we installed Oracle Express Edition database software. Then we installed the GUI tool called SQL Developer and installed OCMT. Then finally, we installed Microsoft Power BI and we configured everything to work together. In the next part, that is part 2, we are actually going to download the data from Kaggle. Then we'll use the ETL process using the Python code to refine that data and load to our Oracle database. And then we will perform our data analytics using Microsoft Power BI and with the data that we access from the Oracle database. So viewers, please provide your feedback in the comment section of the video and hit the like button if you found it useful. That will mean a lot to me and help grow this channel.